The story begins in the 19th century in Asia, where Yang, a skilled warrior, and member of Saddest Flute's clan, the most ruthless assassins in the East, sets out on a personal quest to become the world's greatest swordsman. His ambition finds fulfillment when he defeats the former champion and leader of the rival clan. However, bound by a relentless oath to eliminate every member of the opposing clan, Yang spares the life of a little girl, a gesture that marks him as a sworn enemy within his own ruthless clan. Faced with betrayal and the weight of his own mercy, Yang is compelled to flee his homeland, navigating a treacherous path as he endeavors to forge a new destiny, while being pursued by the very forces he once called kin. Yang reaches the American West and goes to the small town of Lode to find his warrior friend Smiley. However, he learns Smiley passed away 3 years ago. In Lode, he meets a carnival gang led by 8 Ball, the local drunk Ron, and Lynne, a lively young woman who used to be friends with Smiley. In Lode, Lynne gives Yang the nickname Skinny and agrees to teach him laundry. Yang, now enjoying a peaceful life, names the little girl April, and discovers newfound pleasures like opera through Lynne's gramophone. Lynne, revealing Smiley taught her sword skills and about the Saddest Flute clan, wants more training from Yang, who is hesitant. Simultaneously, in the East, Yang's former master, Saddest Flute, and his warrior army, head to America, leaving a trail of destruction on the way. Witnessing Lynne placing flowers on a grave, Yang questions 8 Ball about the backstory. 8 Ball reveals that when Lynne was a young girl, the town faced a siege by a corrupt colonel, with a disturbing preference for assaulting women with healthy teeth. Consequently, Lynne managed to escape by throwing boiling grease at him, but as she fled, the colonel shot her in the back, tragically taking the lives of her father, mother, and baby brother. After her family's burial, the townsfolk discovered Lynne still alive. Subsequently, fueling her vow for revenge against the colonel, Lynne, grateful for Yang teaching her knife-throwing skills, gifts him a pendant. Yang reveals his jedak, a Korean single-edged sword, to Lynne, but she notices it's welded to its scabbard. Meanwhile, Yang explains that it's to prevent him from fighting. In a flashback, Yang is depicted receiving a puppy from his master. Meanwhile, the colonel returning to the town, terrorizes the people with a menacing mask concealing a gruesome scar from the hot grease incident. In the wake of this brutality, he inflicts cruelty by having his men shoot at a bucket of water on a clown's head, and later, using a whip, drags Ron through the town with a horse after he drinks a glass of whiskey. The colonel inspects a lineup of women, selecting a Hispanic woman. Despite her husband's pleas, he releases them only to ruthlessly gun them down, simultaneously with a single bullet. 8 Ball and the carnival members secure Lynne in a cellar for her safety, and Yang removes her blades, but she frees herself with a hidden knife. The colonel plans to harm the Hispanic woman's daughters, but Lynne, posing as a prostitute, offers herself instead. Initially fooling the colonel, she is exposed when he recalls her identity, and his men rush in to restrain her on the bed. In the laundry, carnival members search for Lynne, prompting Yang to realize her location. He seizes an iron, breaking the seal on his sword to set it free. Far away, Saddest Flute abruptly interrupts his meditation, sensing the broken seal. Just as Lynne faced dangers, Yang bursts in through the window, skillfully defeating everyone in the room except the colonel. Ready to finish him off, Lynne steps in, offering to take the final blow. The colonel, seizing Lynne, leaps out the window, using her to break his fall before attempting to escape on horseback. However, Lynne expertly throws a knife into his back. To their shock, the townsfolk discover the colonel's mask reveals a decoy, leaving them terrified of his potential return. Yang, initially planning to leave town, decides to stay and assist when the Saddest Flutes inevitably come for him, persuaded by the desperate pleas of the townspeople. The town's worry about defense fades when 8 Ball reveals Ron's hidden stash of guns and explosives. Ron, showcasing remarkable marksmanship, shoots a bowling pin from a considerable distance. Curious, Yang asks Ron why he stopped shooting, and Ron reveals his past as an outlaw using his skills for crime. His criminal life ended tragically when the woman he loved was shot during a gunfight, leading him to swear off firearms. Ron advises Yang to keep a distance from those he cares about. The day before the impending battle, Lynne expresses a desire to leave with Yang. That night, Yang visits Lynne's house, gifting her his twin short swords. The colonel leads a gang of outlaws to attack the town. As the men advance, explosions erupt. From atop the Ferris wheel, Ron snipes hidden dynamite sticks in the garden as riders approach. Amidst the ensuing chaos, Yang swiftly eliminates many of the assailants. The outlaws are drawn to the Ferris wheel, where Yang and the carnival members ambush them. Ron slides to safety on a cable, just before the Ferris wheel explodes, taking out many of the colonel's men. The survivors pursue the carnival members to the town center, where the sad flutes suddenly assemble. Yang instructs Lynne, holding April, to run as the situation escalates. In pursuit of Lynne, Yang navigates through the laundry shop, taking down numerous warriors, in the ongoing battle between outlaws and warriors. Inside, Lynne entrusts April to 8-Ball, joining forces with Yang to eliminate more adversaries. Upon hearing gunfire, they hurry to find a dying 8-Ball, who expresses regret for failing to protect April. The scene shifts, revealing the colonel entering a building while carrying April. The sad flutes are repelled with a machine gun, but Yang relentlessly carves through the outlaws, as he pursues the colonel. In a room, he discovers the colonel threatening April with a gun, swiftly leaping to slice the gun barrel, and bullet in half mid-firing. Safely catching April, Yang steps back, allowing Lynne to confront the colonel. In a tense battle, Lynne ultimately succeeds in driving a sword into the colonel's back. While exiting the room, Yang and Lynne encounter Saddest Flute, who reveals that April is their adversary, and questions if Yang would ever confess to killing her parents. At sunset, Yang and Saddest Flute engage in a deadly duel in the desert. Flashbacks portray Saddest Flute training Yang, and compelling him to kill a puppy, emphasizing that Yang's heart is his ultimate foe. In the present, Yang emerges victorious, cutting Saddest Flute's throat. Lynne conveys to Yang that she won't be joining him, attempting to hand him April, but he declines. Bringing one last laugh from the baby, Yang gives Lynne a caring glance before heading towards the sunset. Ron narrates Yang's unceasing journey, distancing himself from those he loves. The scene transitions to a hooded man in a parka, skillfully eliminating another man with nimble precision. Knives fall from the fallen man's hands, revealing the hooded figure to be Yang. He rises and proceeds to his shack, where he retrieves the pendant from Lynne, his sword cleverly disguised as a snowman's broom, and April's pacifier before setting the hut ablaze. Stepping into the snow, a swarm of clan warriors emerges, and Yang unsheathes his sword as the scene fades.